Hello and welcome back to the Redwall Cooking Chronicles. My name is Meredith and I'm on a quest to make foods as delicious as we remember when reading the Redwall books. Today we're going to be making deeper than ever turnip and tater. Today we're going to be making deeper than ever and turnip and tater and beetroot pie. It took me so many takes to get that. And these vittles are brought to you from Mossflower's very own Friar Wapple. She makes pies, soups, and pastries for the moles. And like many of the recipes eaten by the mice and the moles in Redwall, it's completely vegetarian. So if you remember reading the books when you were a kid and all the delicious descriptions of the food, that's what we're aiming to recreate today. Apparently this deeper than ever pie is really a Redwall Abbey staple. It has a homemade crust and super rich root vegetable filling. The recipe that I'm following today is from Alison Wonderland's recipes, where she recreates recipes inspired by classic literature. A pie with turnips and root vegetables sounds really intriguing. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I like sweet pies, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. I'm also going to be chatting about fantasy books and the food I love from them and taking you along with me on this cooking process. I'm mostly excited to use this pie pan. It's from Le Creuset in the color meringue. I have to admit, I have never once used this. So I think this will be a good opportunity to break it out. So if you're ready to get started, let's get cooking. This is what we're working with here in terms of ingredients. So we have butter and cream cheese. So it is a dairy heavy recipe, and that's mostly for the crust. And then we have a ton of vegetables. So celery, leeks, carrots, potatoes. Those are beets right here. And then this is a turnip. It's very pretty. And then pearl onions, which I've never cooked with. I normally use regular onions, but apparently these are sweeter than regular onions. And then mushrooms. We have flour for the crust, a butternut squash, feels very Redwall, and then a few seasonings. I'm also thinking about adding a little bit of this basil. My plant is looking very lush right now, so that would be a good garnish on top. By the way, this is not my kitchen. If you've seen my other videos, this is my parents' kitchen in their beach house. It is quite beautiful. They designed it a couple of years ago, and it's totally my aesthetic. I love the cabinetry and the pulls, the marble. It's just, I think it's so cute, and I love this blue of the stove hood. So I get the privilege of cooking in this kitchen today. So you know how I said these pearl onions are like so cute, whatever, and I never cooked with them before? Now I see why. Because you have to peel every single one. It's so much harder than peeling one onion. You have to peel like all these tiny little fiddly things. It's actually quite annoying. So I'll let you know if the sweetness is actually worth doing the tinier onions or if you could just use a regular onion, to be honest. So I live in Louisiana and we have crawfish down here. And these honestly remind me of the process of peeling crawfish because you put in so much effort for such little reward. So if you do make this recipe, I'd honestly recommend using regular onions. 2 cups of onions? Oh my gosh, I have my work cut out for me. I was honestly a little intimidated to make this and it's not starting out strong. My God. I'm sorry, I can't come out. I have a mountain of assorted pearl onions to peel. Our friends are coming over later tonight. We're in Mississippi right now at my parents' beach house. And so I need to get this done before they get here. I feel like I'm gonna be cooking by the time they arrive. They're coming after work. This is 4th of July weekend this weekend. So we're gonna see some fireworks, go in the pool. You'd be surprised how fun Mississippi is if you're not from the South. Mississippi is pretty sweet. There's like a lot of things to do. The beaches are actually pretty good. The Gulf beaches remind me a little bit of Michigan. It sounds weird, but the sand is pretty nice and the wave, there's not, it's not an ocean, so there's not really any waves. So it's very calm, peaceful. There's been some beautiful sunsets. So like every night the sky turns pink and orange. It's just really pretty and peaceful. And so it kind of gives me the vibe of like Lake Michigan. So that's what we're gonna be doing this weekend. We're going to be grilling out. We're going to be going in the pool, floating on some rafts. But I don't know if I'll be able to get to the fun because I'm peeling these dang onions. But we'll get there eventually. I keep telling myself, I can do hard things. It's a good reminder. Like, we can do it. We'll get through it eventually. Other things on the itinerary this weekend, our friends really want to see either the sunrise or the sunset, and we told them why not both. So tomorrow we're probably going to wake up early and go try to catch the sunrise over the beach. I also really love Creole Creamery. If you're in the South, you know. Creole Creamery is an amazing ice cream shop that has really unique flavors, like lavender honey is one of my absolute favorites. And they'll make some interesting other ones like olive oil ice cream or like speculoos peppermint and just like really creative combinations. So ice cream is definitely on the docket. And then I ran to the grocery store today to not only get items for this pie, which hopefully they like turnip pie too. But I also got some things for the 4th. So, you know, some spindrifts, some drinks, and things like that. So I don't know when this video will come out, but yeah, it's the 4th of July right now. Oh, or at least the 4th of July weekend. So that's the thing about this pie, actually. This lesson of slowness is definitely applying to me right now, of patience, of slowing down. When I was at the grocery today, I was waiting for my turkey from the butcher, and it just took so long, and there literally was only one person ahead of me. There was no reason it should have taken so long. It just, for whatever reason, they were like changing shifts, or I don't even know what the holdup was. Also, we're in Mississippi, things just move slower down here. But it took forever, and I was just like, you know what? Let's just be patient. So it's been a lesson of patience. So grocery shopping took me like an hour and a half. I was like at the store forever. And now I'm peeling these forever, and I'm like thinking in my mind, oh my gosh, like what time is it? My friends are gonna get here soon, blah, 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 blah. No. We take our time. It's the holidays. I think if you live with calm and intention, we're in the now. There's no future, there's no past. We're living in the now. Life just is a little bit easier. No matter how fiddly these things are, and the fact that I can't get off the skin, that's okay. We're gonna take our time. Honestly too, pie is one thing that cannot and should not be rushed. There, done. That wasn't that hard. Honestly, this turnip is kind of smelly. Kind of goes along with the theme of mice and rats. They would eat something smelly. That makes sense. Or wait, this is for the moles. Of course the moles would be smelly. But this does strike me as something that moles would like, and they're already underground anyway, so tubers, they would just pluck from underground, right? And so totally makes sense as a mole food. In my imagination, it just feels right. Brian Jacques must have felt the same. I'm gonna dice these up pretty small so I don't taste the smelly turnip. I actually like turnips. I tend to buy them from the Asian grocery store though. This is just like a straight up American turnip. I actually don't really know the difference. The like Japanese style ones that I buy from the Asian grocery store, I tend to like a little more. They're definitely not smelly. These turnips, I hope cooking them will make a difference. They're a little bit stinky. Okay, I've chopped it all up. All the butternut squash, beets, mushrooms, leeks, celery. It's all in there, ready to be baked. The foods in the Redwall books has always made my mouth water whenever I was reading the books. And this goes for a lot of fantasy books I read as a kid and also continue to read as an adult. There's something about the simplicity of the food that just sounds so good when reading. Like I have never craved plain bread and cheese more than reading fantasy books. I think it's the fact that the simple fare is paired with the quest that our heroes are going on. When you're on an adventure, when your life's at risk, you appreciate the simple things that we have on Earth, like bread and cheese. And I think that's one aspect of what makes it so appealing. Heroes are in these life or death scenarios, and so simple food seems so much better. And then pie in particular, like the recipe we're making today, is particularly comforting and cozy and gives you that heartwarming feeling. There's something almost mothering about pie. There's also something about making a pie from scratch, making homemade dough, a lattice crust, right? That evokes that heartwarming feeling in us. It's also fun to experience made up foods and imaginary foods in books. It's not all just bread and cheese. It's fairy bites and woodland animals special recipes. I personally think it's fun to try and recreate these things in real life. If you have a favorite fantasy book food, drop it in the comment below what book it's from. I'd be really curious to see what kind of foods you are interested in terms of fantasy novels. Okay, I just made this dough. It has herbs in it, which is why it looks like the way it does. And it was really easy actually. So now I'm gonna pop this in the fridge for 30 minutes to chill and then we will roll it out. This sheet pan, I think I could just eat it as is, even without the pie. It looks like Thanksgiving. That's kind of the vibe I get from this recipe. It's like a Thanksgiving pie. So I'm going to pop these in the oven while the dough is chilling. I just put them in the oven. They look great. They're gonna be roasting for about 45 minutes. And then the recipe also said to just stick these potatoes in straight into the oven after poking them with a fork 6 times. So interesting, I've never done that before. I will let you know how these turn out. How accurate I felt like this recipe was to the books. I definitely feel like some kind of friar or the mistress of the kitchens when making this recipe. I felt like I needed to roll up my sleeves, like some burly arms, some burly badger arms, and maybe like a couple tattoos. I'll just be barking orders to all of my sous chefs. And then once the recipe is done, I'll just throw it down in front of the moles and be like, here you go. These are your victuals for the day. Good night. So something about this recipe made me feel like a strong badger lady. Now the most important question, how does it taste? My friends are almost here, so we'll do a taste test. Okay, we are doing a taste test. And Jao, what are your thoughts?
It's incredible. It's so good. Great crust. It's a lot of flavors, even though it's what's in it?
So many things. We have beets, onions, carrots, celery, turnip, leeks, potatoes, all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
Cream cheese, milk.
I love this smorgasbord.
Yeah, it's nice.
Thanks, yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Thanksgiving.
I love the texture.
And I think the best part, guys, is the homemade crust. That like really makes it. Don't you think?
Yeah.
So I would give this a 10 out of 10. How about you?
11 out of 10.
It's really good, but the amount of time it took to make it, that would bump it down for me. So while it is really good, would I make it again? Probably not. So if you all want to see more Redwall cooking videos, hit subscribe and let me know which recipe I should make next.